All right. So now I need to turn off the color, enable color management for people who work inside this class. Okay. So, and now I'm gonna replace the rig into this car. At this moment, when I did the animation, I didn't pay attention so much on how much I want the object to be floating. Can you see? So, and I use just group car. So now what I can do though to lift that part off, oh, we can lift it later. Before I do that, on the group node, I'm gonna turn on display and transform selection handle so that I can see, and oops, I shouldn't modify my undo camera chain. I forgot to lock the camera. Where is locking? Here we go. You can lock here, this button, but if you need to lock all the parameter of the camera that are not translate, you need to right click and lock, so that won't be changed. So now I'm gonna open up a window animation editor, graph editor. I just want to lift the whole thing up. So, and if you turn on move to, you will see the axis that we need to go is like this, like go up, right? Okay. So you can use translate Y right here. Select all the curve. Let me go back to 1. Okay. So that, and I can move it up. I'm going to use middle mouse and move. You might need to hold shift key. Translate. Why it's not moving? Maybe it's still too less. Green car group. One moment. Why is not moving? How about, oh, maybe it's just too low. Let me see, 1. Here we go. The number is too low, that's all. Let me do 10. So now, when I move that curve up, so from now, even though if you Y, you have up and down, you want to move up maybe like 10 units, you could just select and then move it up and look at on the graph on this side. So right now it's 10. Can you see? When I zoom up too close, so it's 0.001 unit. That's why when I move it doesn't appear to be lift up. So now it will stay taller. Okay, so to replace this though, I'm gonna go to edit and not edit, file, reference editor. You just select the car that you want to replace. Here we go. Reference, replace, reference. Before you do that, you might need to make sure your setting is what you want. We want to merge into selected namespace so that we won't add to extra name unless if it's the same name as the other object. Okay. Now you can also turn up the group so that group all the new reference in one single group. Okay. So, and I can name let's say rig car. Okay. And save and close, and then you come back to this window, you replace it so that is use those settings. And I'm gonna go to rigging number 3 demo. Here we go. Okay, so now it's replaced. However, it replaced but not attached to the animation because I animate on this group. Can you see that group? So basically you need to bring it back. Now I could match. Let's go to frame 1. I'm gonna find my car, and I name it main control. Here we go. So it's right there. Now, I did not add the globe node. I forgot. I should have added the globe node so that it will not alter the volumes on here. So what I can do, I can go to my main car. Somehow it doesn't group it with together group. That's weird. I turn on the group, but I'm not really efficient with the referencing node neither. Now let me go back to find my car. So this is my car right there. Oops. Let me press 1, zoom in. So I select the car and then control select the green car group that I animated from last section. And then I'm gonna go to modify, match, transform, or transform including rotation. Here we go. So now it should go to this. So it's a little bit high because let me change this to perspective view. Here we go. Due to, can you see the new pivot point of my main control is right there. That's why pivot point is matched with the center of the group node on the last animation. So in this case, you could just move this down. Okay. There we go. So gonna move it down, and we're gonna have to rotate a little bit because it's look like that. Here we go. So, and now I think I did not scale. Last section I scaled the car larger. That's why these cars looks a lot smaller. So you're gonna have to scale them. And now the problem with this is, can you see when we don't have a go bulk node or relocate node, it's applied the translate on the actual controller, which is not what we wanted to do. So to fix it is really easy. Let's say we go back on the rigging. We're gonna do that when we do it together. But let's say if I wanted to do in here, I'm gonna put it back to 0. Okay, so and this is what I'm gonna do. Right now, see the translate and rotate on the main controller set to 0. I'm gonna add a group node on top. And the new group node, I'm gonna call, one moment, let me copy the name. I'm gonna call the main control, the car, scorecard, relocate node, GP. So now this node, we're gonna use it to relocate and reposition. So now I can select that relocate node and then go to the green car group. Oops, sorry, I forgot to turn off my cell phone. And match again. Here we go. So now, after you match, you're gonna parent the group node, the relocate node under the node that you animated. Okay, so I'm gonna just press P, and then I'm gonna rotate the group node. So now my group node is a little bit higher. That's okay. Oops. Make sure rotate only one direction at a time, and then move it down. Here we go. So now, after it's under, when we go to that scene, see, the car is moved again, and then you just make a little adjustment on your animation to get it right. Now, there's another way. Okay. If you don't want to confuse you with this group node, I'm gonna unparent it. Okay. So basically we're going to copy the keyframe. So let's change to 411 from starting. And then I'm going to shift and drag, right click and copy that. So what it does going to do is it's going to copy all of these volumes. And then you go to the car again, the relocate node. Where is it? Right here. But you're not apply on the relocate node. You need to move them into the location that you want first before you do this, okay? So because you're gonna animate actual skull car main control, okay? So I select that, and I'm going to just shift and drag. I should have started only on the first keyframe, but I forgot, not first keyframe, on the first keyframe of that camera shot. So I'm gonna paste. So this might be, hey, where is it going? 0. Come on. Let me. Oh. I don't know why. Let's see, 10. I don't know why it's offset that far. Did I freeze transform? I did. Well, it's kind of go backward instead. What's going on? I think, did I rotate it? Somehow it's applied to the original position of the car itself, not the group node. That's weird. So, well, I think my problem from the beginning is I animate the group node that belong to the original workspace, but then this car has opposite orientation because I have to rotate them to set the original position. Let me go back to this. Let me show you again. If I zero that out, see, that's the original position. And if I turn on object space, now this is the problem because the object space are reversal, then the object space of the group node, that causes reversing. Well, in this case, I probably gonna have to parenting them. So, and then you animate only the body with the other action, which you probably, most of you probably has that. So in this case, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just parent that to here. Okay, so now it should follow again. Wait a minute. Hold on, because I had a keyframe. Hold on. Let me undo quick. I had a keyframe on that. Let me zero this out. And then breaking. Break connection. Here we go. So now it should work. Let me see. That's camera. Okay, got it. Sorry guys, here we go. So now this is should be correcting. Okay, so that's weird. Oh, I didn't reposition correctly. Here we go. Yep, because I re-changed my position. One moment. Okay. All right, so now let me deselect. One moment. Let me turn all real time. Here we go. Hey, I said all. So now, here we go. So that's how it works. And if you animate directly to the controller, the only thing when you update is don't rename them. Like for example, if I did animate on the actual controller itself, let's say if some of you, I mean, how many of you already has car movement? Anybody? Online people? So in that case, just reposition the scope node, and then you just parenting to the controller that you animated, which is the group. That's it. And you're gonna get all the actual motion that you already have, but then now you will be able to use more controller to add a secondary animation, like engine move, paddle move, or pivot, if you wanted to do add on top of the animation that you already have. Okay. Now, for people who have not, I would suggest you when you have you start a rig, you can rig today, and then you just have a main controller as just one main controller and animate only that one first. And then when you update your rig, it will update the second, third, fourth controller inside the scene that you have not animated. The only thing is, do not rename the main controller. For example, if you have a red car main control, when you edit them, don't add red car red car 1 main controller. It's going to confuse the Maya file because it's a different name. Just stay with the same name, that's all. And parameter, if one you high, the other one you are not high, that might conflict the animation too. So make sure that attribute editor stay the same with the one that you already animated. The new one is fine, will be just add on, that's all. Okay, so now how we organize the car, let's take a look at one more time, because I didn't record the car when I show you how it's done. Okay, so let me show you again. And I didn't save the color space again, so just need to turn it off. There we go. So once again, this is the main control. Just remember, you can start it with one main control and then you can animate it, parenting them if you want to with the animation that you already did. Okay, because when you finish rig, it will have a different orientation than what you already animated. Just do like what I did, parenting to the group that you animated, and then the new control will be just another animation that you add on top of it. That's all. So now, let's say today you might finish only the main controller there, and then you can go ahead animate just main controller, and then the next day you add just one side. When you re-reference it, this one will be updated, but no key on that. But the main control is going to have the key that you did. So it means you can add more and more. And I am planning to modify the shape of the car itself. and I'm gonna do one video to show about that, because when we modified it, the problem with it is UV, because the new surface that you add will have to share the same UV, same space, color space with the bitmap. So we have to make a little plan and do a little trick like build the area that can share with the same color on one of the part, so that you can just reposition the shell into that pixel, so that you don't have to recreate a new map at all. You can add more stuff on it. So like you could even add double roof, and then you just use the top roof to figure it out the shell of the UV to put on the area of the pixel that kind of doesn't show too much seam, and then you should be able to do it. Okay, so now this is what we're gonna get. Main control, rotate on the center of the car, move all 3 directions, and you have a pivot control so that you can pivot to rotate only front, pivot at the front, at the back, and on the side. Here we go. So secondary animation, and then you have sight control on the engine. Just for example, shoot it down, go up, pedal to control the aerodynamics, push left or right, something like that. And this part we're gonna animate also. I already set it up, but didn't finish it. This one will be the control to make it kind of shaking. Okay, and so we're gonna use joints, cluster, and so on. Okay, so now I'm gonna open up a red car. So when you do rig, just go ahead, rig on the original car. You might have to save into different name. I'm gonna choose red, open. Don't save on that. Okay. And I'm gonna turn off color space. When I resave, it should be okay. It should save the color space, no use color space also. So that should be okay. Let me save as, and I'm gonna call rigging, put into different folder so that won't get confused. I'm gonna just call red car rig 01. Here we go. So we have to organize this. We don't need to see the frame because we are not doing a composition on here. No need for color at the moment. So I'm gonna turn off. Okay. And now, at the moment, this look like this. It's kind of try to organize, but it doesn't really give much information. And can you see some of them are just like going crazy? Basically, all of these are a multiple piece combined together, not group, combined. So you could leave it as is if you want to, but it's going to be some of them may not allow you to create a rig like what I did. Can you see the host? So now let's do it little by little. First, the red car, we're gonna just ungroup them, and then we're gonna make organize better. So ungroup. So now they all separate. And if you're afraid that you're gonna get confused, you could add. Right now, I already add. Let's pretend I don't have this. Okay, I'm gonna select all of them. Yes. Oh, I thought you select all of them. Add layer, create layer from selected. So now I can hide it. So now I'm gonna just pick only one part. Whatever is already exit. I'm gonna remove this. Remove selected object, so that I can hide the rest. So this obviously I want it to be on a body. So I think we need more. So now, before that, I'm going to separate this. So if I shift right mouse click, separate. Because they are combined, but they are not merging vertices at all. Can you see? So now they all separated. I'm going to ungroup them also because I want to organize by myself. Ungroup. So now, can you see a bunch of stuff there? And there's a transform node. This is interesting. If I hit delete, can you see it's turned green? It's just because it stays there when they do combine. No big deal. So I'm going to just delete it. Now when I delete it, how can I get this back? Not difficult at all. First thing we have to know first. Let me undo again so that the transform's still there. Come on, here we go. You select the surface and look. So under show, you don't have to look at on here. Just go to attribute editor. Look at where is the car, the texture. The shader is called car matte 2. So when I open up the hypershade, okay, and hey, it doesn't update. So it's right here. And this using for every single part of the surface on this model. When you build your own though, you might have multiple shader, but this one has a single shader. So now we know what it is. So I'm gonna delete transform now. They turn green. I'm gonna select all of them. You may need to make sure on the outliner if you really select all of them. And you can right click, assign existing, and just reapply car matte 2. And then it will come back. So the reason is, as I said, when you combine multiple surfaces and assign the new shader, it's considered as a group. So they apply the surface shader. The surface shader is this one. If I click, I'm gonna right here. That's the surface shader. Every shader will have surface shader in front of everything. That node is to display on screen. So just remember, just reapply it if you see that green color. You will see more. Now we got to name this. We don't have to try to organize all the name like the door. It's too much work. So I'm going to select all of them and use a under name field. You need to switch the absolute transform to rename here under on the status status line. And I'm going to name red, right? So red car BD body mesh. I'm going to just name like that because I'm going to have another body mesh. So the red car body mesh will be in one group. So I'm going to group it to itself. Here we go. And I'm going to call red car body, red car mesh group. Oh, this one body. So red car body group. Here we go. So organize it. And if you like, you can create in a new layers. And I'm going to call all mesh, red car mesh layers, so that we organize this layer, red car mesh layer, and I add that inside it. So select, right click, add select to object. So now I'm gonna referencing so that you can see. So now I'm gonna continue, select this part, remove it from the, let's rename this temp layers so that I can say the word temp layer. And I'm going to remove that off. Here we go. So now it's show. So now I'm going to separate this and figure it out where will be on the body again. So shift, right mouse click, separate. Here we go. So now I know that this will be part of the paddle. Okay. So let me ungroup this thing, edit, ungroup, there we go. And then I'm going to remove transform and then reassign the surface again. Hit delete, select all, right click, assign, Carmat 2, here we go. Now we got them back. So this guy, that will be a body part right there too. And not the hose. Leave the hose as is. The door, I might shift right. And also the back engine, because I don't want to touch them. I don't want to rig them. So select all. And you can use outliner, control click, the main group body. Oh, before that, let's rename it first. So we're going to just rename red car. What happened?
You're echoing.
Hold on. System, microphone. Okay. Sorry, guys. Yes, it's gone. I was shocked, like, who teasing me? Okay, so I'm gonna rename red car. What did I name though? BD. Okay, red car BD mesh. I want it to be same name. BD mesh. There we go. And then you can middle mouse drag and drop or control click like this, and then just press P. It will went in. It will go in. That one also. Red. Oh, sorry. Car BD mesh. Here we go. Oh. Here we go. Okay. And I'm gonna press P. Here we go. So now go in. What else? This one has to be part of the body. That one too. These two. No, not that one. There we go. Okay. Red car BD mesh. Put in there. P, here we go. One more. See, when we do this way, we'll be able to figure it out which one is which. Easier than try to separate all of them at once without using layer technique to help. You get more confusion. Mesh. Here we go. And I'm gonna put it in that group P. Here we go. So now this hose though cannot belong to anything. There's a reason. Because the part of this hose, like these hoses, will be controlled, the translate, rotate, and scale will be controlled by joint. And joint will follow one of the group. So we don't put them anywhere. So now I'm gonna focus on the light part. There we go. I'm gonna just select only all of those light part. I'm gonna group it, Control G, group it to itself, group them together, and I'm gonna name this one is on the left, so I'm gonna put L underscore red car headlight GP group, because if you organize this, it's easy to animate them if you want to, or rig them. So now I'm gonna have to rename mesh. Here we go. So one. Now this part, pedal, select all, subtract, here we go, group it, Control G, and then we're gonna call L red car. You can put RC, something like that, shorter name like this, RC pedal. I mean, the reason that we want to shorten the name, I didn't shorten the name at first because I want it to be a little more literal so that you can understand what it is. Pedal GP. Let me not shorten the name. I just want to show you, you should, when you do it on your own. But the third project though, when you name, you have to be a little careful because you're working for 3 people. So you have to kind of communicate each other and know what they are. Mesh. So you might have to be more literal. So now, here we go. And okay. So the last one on here, this side will be this part. Oh, hold on. Ouch. I wanted to make sure I select all. Subtract. What else? I think that's it. Group it. This one I'm gonna call a left red car. How about just jet, side jet, shorter name than engine. Side jet GP. Okay, so now I'm gonna put that inside the red car mesh, all of them, so that I can template. And I'm gonna select the next one, outliner, right click on the temp layers, remove selected. So this one will be a part of the jet. Okay, so shift, separate, and ungroup, delete transform, once again, select all of them, right click, assign, reassign the car mat to, we'll come back. So this side will belong to the left jet, and left jet is right here. I could just middle mouse drag and drop it in. Here we go. So now it's gone. Let me rename. Oh, it's good. I forgot to rename, so this is a good time. Just rename them all at once. Call mesh. Here we go. So now this one is already here, so let's do it. So we're gonna rename to R mesh, red car side jet mesh, and then I'm gonna group it to self, rename. Oh shoot, right. Yes. Change to R. Here we go. So look like this, and I'm gonna add into a mask layer so that it's become template, because I don't want to touch them. Select the next one. Remove. Here we go. And I'm gonna separate, ungroup, and then delete transform, select all of them, right click, assign existing, just put the comment to back. So now I'm gonna, let's start it from, I was, hold on, still on the red card jet mesh, right, on the right side. So let's select all of this first. Here we go, subtract that, subtract this, subtract that, subtract. Okay, so that one will be middle mouse drag and drop into the side jet right side, and then gonna rename it. Oops, hold on, sorry, let me copy that name quicker than typing. Here we go. So anything left on that jet? No, good. Let's do paddle first, because so that we left the body. Should subtract things that not belong. Here we go. So group it to self. This one, let me synchronize the name. Paddle, copy that. Group. This one gonna be R side. Okay. And then add in. Okay, so now the headlight, select that, subtract, subtract, subtract that. Okay, and then I'm gonna group it to itself. This one will be right, will be R, red card, headlight. Headlight. TP, I'm gonna copy that name, here we go. Rename the stuff inside. Mesh. Okay. So now the rest of them will be all, let me add that in, here we go. Okay, so the rest of them except for the hose, subtract that hose, this one, okay, will be, let's change to BD. Let me check the name, BD mesh. Okay, red car BD mesh, and then I'm gonna just middle mouse drag and drop. There we go. So perfect. And then I'm gonna put this inside that layer also. Continue. Remove. Oh, this is only one part of the jet. So in this case, the left jet, right? Is it left? Okay. So I'm gonna name. If I middle mouse drag to the left car side jet, that one. So let me copy that name, and this time because only one, so there we go, match one, that's perfect. And two more, that should be quicker this time. That's the window, so we keep the window as is. Glass and window, perfect. All right, so in this case, you can separate them or you can keep them, it's fine. I'm gonna separate it. There we go. So ungroup. So that's easy for me to see what they are. Okay, so now, and it looks green, I know what the color would be, so exit standard surface 9 is the glass, I remember. So I mean, if you don't remember, just go, if you don't know yet for first time, just go there and look. I mean, look before you delete transform node. Okay, so let me select all of this. I'm gonna call a red car glass window mesh. There we go. And I'm gonna group it to itself. Group, there we go, and GP. Now can you see, now we have a little bit organized there. Oh, there's still part, that part is the host. Okay, so let's name popper 1, 2, 3. That will be a right side. So R red car site jet host. Little longer name, but actually this is top. I can just name like that. Here we go. And then the bottom one, this is only one piece, so this one gonna call mesh, but I'm gonna call site jet BT bottom little. So, and this one will be left L site jet host BT mesh. Copy, here we go, and then 1, 2, 3. This one gonna just be no BT, just host. Here we go. Okay, so now I'm gonna save, so it's ready for rigging. For people who did the who took the rigging class to create your own controller and reuse it, I'm not going to talk about that. Okay, I'm gonna just show you how to create it. For example, if I wanted to create some kind of a full arrow like what I did, okay, so let's hide that temporary. Oh, I still have more stuff in there. Hold on. Oh, let's hide that temporary. Here we go, save. So now when you use curve, it will not render out. So it's right here under curve surface. You just use EP curve tool, the easy one to use. And I'm gonna turn on snap to grid. So I can kind of try to figure it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, this has a 3 sample qubit. We wanted a linear. So double click on the tool again, switch to 1 linear. So now it will just look like this. Let me start it again. 1, 2, 3, straight line. And I don't worry about the size yet. I just worry about the shape at the moment. And I turn on snap to grid. That's why it does snap to the intersection of each grid. I moved that wrong, but and I'm gonna hold it back, press enter, and I make a mistake on here. Let me grab that, turn on move to, snap to grid still on, so I'm gonna just move 1. Object mode, so turn this off, Now I can bring the car back, scale it until I like it. Here we go. This might be too big. We'll see. I can make a little change. How about that? Let me scale, how about like this? Maybe. Okay. So now, this will be a main control. And then I'm going to go to modify phase transform. Okay. And I'm not going to hide or lock anything yet. So now, I'm going to name red car main CTL control. Here we go. And I'm going to select, do you guys remember there's a surface? Oh, this is font. Hold on, one more name. So, red car font host mesh. FNT font host. That one is right side. Okay. And this one is left side. Mesh. Okay. So now this object, the host, will not belong to any group because it will drive by the skin surface with the joint. So every single things of this will belong to the main group node, the main control. So now when I select the main control, when I move, it's going to go with it like that. Okay. I could scale if I want to. So now that will be a main animation. Now some of you might want to even group all of these together and call body all. I don't think it's necessary. So unless you want to make sure you won't get confused. Like for example, I could select all of them and control G. See, this is one group. And then I'm going to name this all car part GP group. So that you know that I should call all red car. That's all the part will be in there. So something you wanted to get rid of the main control, you can just unparent it. Like for example, if I press shift, if I select the all car red car part group parts. Here we go. So I can go to edit unparent. So now when I grab the main, I can rescale it, phase transform, and then middle mouse drag that on outliner and drop it back. So now follow it again. So you can make a lot of adjustment on that. Now, how about the pivot? I'm going to use circle. And you can draw like what we did. Also, totally up to you. Gonna scale a little bit. Okay. So this one is left side, so I can call a red car side pivot CTL. Okay. So now I need to figure it out. The pivot point, I want to be right around, maybe how about on the jet? I mean, you don't have to be exactly on the jet. How about right here? So this, now you can go to edit point and pick the point that you want to detach. Let me detach from here. Okay. And then under curve, detach. So now I can delete one. Oh, How did I pick that one? By accident. I can reattach them again, sir. Curve, attach, okay. And now, if I lose it, let's see, I might have to recut them. I wanted to connect, not blend. Don't keep. Here we go. So that worked. Don't blend it. And let me delete one more. I want, edit point. I want to delete that point. That's it. I can just hit delete. So now, come on. Here we go. So now this one will be on the side. When I detach, I forgot. I should have renamed it after L red car side pivot CTL. Okay. Oh wait, I have to rebuild. Let me copy the name. When I rebuild, I'm gonna lose it. So curve rebuild. I mean, on the rebuild section, actually, you don't have to rebuild it. Oh man, let's not rebuild them. Just keep it up. Delete history, because we are not doing modeling for this. So phase transform. Okay. So now I'm gonna duplicate, and I want it to reverse to the other side, right? Now, if I do reverse like this, -1, can you see it's reverse? But I want it to be similar space. So let me delete. This is what I'm gonna do, Control D to duplicate, and then Control G to group it. Now when you group, Maya will assign the pivot point of the group node on the workspace, center of the workspace. Now you can rotate the group, not rotate, mirror kind of technique, -1. Then you edit ungroup, and then ungroup. Here we go. And then you phase transform. Now you got that part. And then I can rename right. So now the font, you can do the same, just duplicate this, group it to itself. Now this time, rotate it. And then we're going to have to move a little bit. So it will be 90 degree, and then move it forward. There we go. So, and then you ungroup it, phase transform, rename. This one will be font. I'm going to put FNT font. Side pip. Oh, why did I? Should be red car and then font FNT. Here we go. Let me get rid of that number. Okay. Oh, okay. So now duplicate again. This one we on the back. Control G. Now you can mirror it because it should be about the same. Oh, mirror Z this time. Sorry, based on the workspace. Here we go. And then I can move out a little bit. Okay. Ungroup. And this one we'll call back pivot. Here we go. So now all of these need to be above the car. So I'm gonna start to do this. I'm gonna middle mouse drag to the left, and now the left car is on top. So it means I can do this. So now, what about on the right? Basically, on the right, you need to bring the left to the right. So now it will look like this. Can you see? The right side, when you pivot, it will move the left side also. It's basically just organize the hierarchy. Now, same thing, I can move that and drop in the font. Now, what about the order? Doesn't matter what order is. it's gonna be okay. So I'm gonna put that. You could use font back first and then left and right, it's fine. So now, if the higher hierarchy will be on the back, and the second highest hierarchy will be on the front. So when I rotate the front, the back stay, which is fine. It's just the way it is. So now if I rotate the right, the two controller will stay, front and back. See? Because it's higher. Now, if I rotate only the left, everything else stay. Just the way it is. Okay, so now we need to bring this to follow the main control. So basically you grab the highest hierarchy and drop it in. So the main body control will control everything. So it means I can move forward and then I can pivot or rotate this side or do more. So normally you would not animate pivot all 4 directions at once. You would do just only one at a time. Okay. So now I can bring this back to the original position. So now, what about just do the front one first. You can use another curve. So you could draw the curve, or I can do like this. Double click, 1, X, so 1, 2, there we go. How about just that? Here we go. So this will be the paddle, okay? If you want more fancy, just draw, make sure it's one continuity curve. You don't want to do like this. Let's say you feel like, hey, maybe I should do like this. How about, I just made it up. Here we go. So now there are 2 curves. That is not the idea of controller. Controller has to be only 1 click, not 2 click. So just make sure there are 1 continuing curve. So now this one I'm gonna call a left, red car paddle CTL. Okay, so now I'm gonna do only one. No, I'm gonna do only one side. Okay, guys, just one side. The other side, it's the same. So you have to bring this to control the this group node. So I have to find out where it is. So you could do hold shift, click to expand all. Actually, shift expand all is not good because expand all the all sub level. So let's do 1 click at a time. Here we go. Hey, why is pattern mesh is there? That has to be on the left. Let me put on the left paddle. Here we go. Okay. So now when I select, this is it. So it means these curves need to be under the main body. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this to be under the main body part. So how about just do this first? Select the paddle and select the control. You have to select the whole group node. I did not select the member, okay? So can you see? I select the whole group node and paddle control. Hold on. I accidentally move it. I just want to show it to you first. Can you see? I did not select the member. When you do that, you select the member. Now, for people who maybe forget, when you look at on outliner, if you see a darker highlight, it means one of the member or more has been selected. It's not the group node, it's the member of that group node selected. But if you select the group node, you are not select the member of the group node because those will follow anywhere it go. So I'm gonna put this group node into the main control. If I press P to parent, it's come off. So you need to bring it back. I'm going to put it under the body part. Here we go. So now it's under there. So even though you might feel like, hey, wait a minute, this guy is under that. So it's mean I have to bring this, like open up that group. Yes, you do if you want to use outliner. However, the reason that we create controllers so that we don't have to use outliner, so that we can select on screen. And now I need to change the pivot point. Can you see right now? By default, Maya set the pivot point to the center of the workspace. So I'm going to select the controller of the left, press D, and I'm going to manually move. I'm going to turn off snap to grid. I'm going to move it manually, and I want it to be on the pivot point, the center right here in there. So, and look at on side view also. Press 4 so that right around there. Just eyeballing it's fine. Press D to get off from that pivot mode. Now, it will look like this. And when I grab the main body, it will move all. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do, how can we rig this hose to act like a hose? There's two things that we need to consider. We want, now this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to select this hose, and if I turn off the red car mesh layer will also hiding, right? You could remove it off temporarily before you bring it in. However, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to show you another trick. You just turn all on. Select the hose, show menu of the viewport. These are belong to each viewport. Under isolate, select view selected only. So now with the other viewport, you will see all except only that viewport. So now, how can we place the joint on the center or in the location of the hose quicker? Now, if I go to switch the module to rigging, skeleton, joint, this time I'm going to use a default setting. I want them to keep having the orientation based on X, Y, X and Y. So you don't need to line up to the workspace because we are not doing forward kinematic. We are doing inverse, but we're gonna not even use, we are not use regular inverse kinematics. We're gonna use spline IK. So just let my set it default, quicker, easier at this point. So now I'm gonna click OK. So now this is what I need to do. Can you see? That's kind of tedious work because you have to move them together. You have to move them to line up. See, I'm gonna show you better technique. So too much work and it's harder. So I'm gonna turn off shadow, turn off this, turn on wireframe on shaded. Now what we can do is we can actually use a deformer to help us to center the joint inside that hose on each section, because with IK handle we want more joints as much as possible. To do that, it's a little trick. Go to edge, double click on the loop on that circle. Can you see when you double click on it, the center of selection will be right there. Now we can put a cluster, because cluster we can use as a point to snap the joint into it. So I'm going to go to deformer, cluster, and just add right there. We just use it to see, to use as a snapping option. So now I'm gonna go in, edge, double click. I don't have to go to the menu and choose cluster again. I could just use G on my keyboard. So now I'm gonna do a little quick, press G, you see, right click, edge, double click on that loop. If it doesn't go, you need to shift select and shift double click until it's go all around. It has to go all around. The reason that did not go because of this triangle. So, but you don't need to delete the triangle. You could if you want to. Just has to double click a little more time because just only a few of them, not the whole. Here we go. Like when I did on my own, I kind of removed the triangle using quadrant command, and some of them I might have to do manually. So, but I'm not going to do that lecture because it's going to take a little more time. Now this one I should be okay. Oh, still have 3. This one should be all the loop because there's no triangle. And if you're on wireframe mode, it's hard to select. You just switch to 5 because on wireframe you have to really right click on the line. If you're on on shading mode, you can right click anywhere on the surface. So it's going to be a bunch of, here we go. Now I am not going to show isolate selection. I'm going to just turn off polygon so that I can see all of this. So now what you need is you're going to have to start it from the base of the hose that on the pedal or on the engine, not on the body, to be a starting joint. So go to rigging, skeleton, create joint. Let me hide polygon temporary. Turn on V key, you can hold V key or turn on vertex point snap, this button. And then I can click, 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 click until I get all of those. And you don't have to be economy with the number of the joints because spy joint, more joint is more smooth. And now the cluster, when you're done, you get rid of it. You don't need them anymore. So I'm gonna shift click to expand. Now we're gonna name this. Let me go to show all. So this one, let me see. I'm gonna isolate on the left side. Okay, because I don't remember where it was. Okay, so let me referencing for a moment on the car mesh. Select that, and this is gonna be a left font FNT hose JNT joint. Okay, so 14 joints. The first one doesn't have a number, and I'm gonna reduce 0.25 the size to make it smaller so that I can see the mesh. How about 0.2 right there? So, and it depends on your scene scale though. Your scene scale, if your scene scale are small, you might have to change the radius smaller. If your scene scale are large, you might have to bump this up. So it depends. So now we need something to pin. Oh, hey guys, I make a mistake. Can you see this is the starting of the hose? No, I want the hose to be starting right here because I want this to drag from here. And this side will try to pin it down. So this is easy. To reroute it, you just select the lowest hierarchy and then go to skeleton, reroute skeleton. Now it's done. So this is the place. And before we add, let's add IK handle. So under skeleton, you're gonna use a spline IK right there. Create spline IK handle, open up option. I want you to add full span, make it high. Now the root twist node don't need to do anything. Auto parent curve, no. There's a reason why. Because we're going to use cluster to control the curve and parent the cluster to some of the locator. So if we have a parent curve, you're going to get double transform. The curve need to be on the world space because the curve itself will drive by the CV. So make sure you turn off auto parent curve and click OK. Number the span full, click OK. So started from the beginning and go to the end. Now you get that spline curve. We got to name them properly. So the IK, I'm going to call appropriate name, left font, and IK HD. And I'm going to copy that name to rename the curve. Can you see there's a curve there? We're going to leave the word curve on. Here we go, SD curve. So that now we know these belong to what? Okay. So now the way to animate the IK spline IK, you actually animate the curve. So I'm going to select the curve on the outliner. Let's do, to make things a little easier, isolate. Shortcut is Control 1 so that we can see. Otherwise, it's so hard to select them. Right click and choose vertices. Now, I'm going to just grab a couple of them. And then I'm going to Control 1 to bring back any this shortcut. Here we go. So now if I move, let me turn off snap. Can you see? The joints are follow. This is how you animate it. Okay. So now, for new people, it's not intuitive way at all to set the key in on the component mode. So we need a little help. So we're going to use cluster again for the formation. So I'm going to go to object mode. I'm going to press F8. Control 1 to hide everything. Control 1 is the shortcut of view selected. Hey guys, what time are we? So I think I'm gonna next section. How about this? I'm gonna do the video after I finish this. I'm gonna do one video for you to look at on Wednesday. So that on Wednesday and Friday will be a work day. And how many of you need direction on, hey, meeting is disconnect. How is that coming? Hold on. Let me pause this quick. You missed something? The screen was disconnect. I don't know why. Okay, so I'm gonna select the first two CV and deform cluster. Right click, select this CV, press G, add cluster. And I think these two I'm gonna do together. Press G, no, yeah. And then, I mean, the number of the CV is actually totally up to you. It's about 4 CV, 4 set of cluster is good enough because you can parent these to one side, 2 to the other side. So now I'm gonna have to rename this so that we know what it is. I'm gonna leave the word cluster, and then I'm gonna add host IK cluster so that I know what they are. And I'm gonna bring everything back. Here we go. So now we need something to pin. I'm gonna create a locator. Create locator. the first locator, I'm going to move them. I'm going to reposition. You could snap whole V, snap to point.
Siri, you're on mute.
I am? Oh, sorry. Here we go. Sorry about that. Did you guys
You've been on
lost?
mute for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I noticed that somehow, but I have it on video, so you'll be okay. Somehow it disconnect. I don't know why it disconnect the. So
We
now,
timed out with our meeting time.
oh wait, we time out. Okay, hey guys, so I'll finish record this, and then you guys can leave, and then I'm gonna post this video to the class folder. Now, to the D2L. Now, I'm gonna finish the backside outside of the class, and I'm gonna put that video for Wednesday. So it means this Wednesday and Friday will be work day. I'll be here, help you. Okay, so just try to get the project starting. And any questions? No?
No, I
Okay.
may have been wrong with the timeout thing, though.
Hey, what time do we done here? Are we done here? 25. Oh, okay. 12. Good. So I should be
Yeah, I
able.
was wrong.
Oh, so I should be able to finish only the font, and then the backside I will make a video, and I'll make all the video back and the other side too, so that you can look at on Wednesday. So tonight, if you want, you can look at on this video and start it to follow again. So now I'm gonna move these forward a little bit because I want these to be right around.
You need to share your screen, please.
Oh. Sorry. Here we go. I don't know why it disconnected for a few minutes. It could be longer than that, but I didn't see. So this one we're gonna call a host locator. You can call host locator paddle. Paddle might be too long name, but paddle locator. There we go. Left, and then I'm gonna duplicate. This one will be on the body, right there. I mean, you don't have to be exactly like that location, but you can do V snap to join. That would be fine. And this one we call body, still host, body locator. Okay. And now this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna select let me referencing, here we go. Select the CV, not CV, sorry, the deformer, okay. And we're gonna parent it to locator, we got to phase transform first. Locator, not that, here we go. Let me show high IK. No, if you hide right now, you won't see the other when you add. So phase transform on the locator. Here we go. So now nice and clean. Now I can parent this. Here we go. You're gonna select two cluster on the font and on the body. Each, because I choose 4 cluster easier because it's even number. Now, some of the holes on the back side, you may not get only 3 cluster, it depends. So, control, edit parent. Now, Maya will say it needs to preserve position of the deformer node by add group. Just leave it as. And then you just rename the group. I'm going to shift click. Here we go. Can you see? I'm going to copy the name of the cluster, put it and call GP, copy, so that you organize them and then you know what it is. So now this is what can happen. This this locator will be a child of the pedal control. So now when I grab the pedal, here we go, and I rotate it, you will see it move. Can you see the curve move? Portion move only on that part. So now these two cluster will be a child of the locator that position on the body, on the end. Here we go. Select, press P, and rename it again. This one called 2 GP, and then this one called 3 GP. Here we go. And then these you're going to parent it to the body, but let's organize them better. I'm going to create a new locator. Create a new locator. And leave it stay in the middle of the car. And this one I'm going to call all host locator. All hosts locator. So that any locator that attached to the body, it will be a child of this on the left side. Now, when I did on the last one, I have two host locators that attach to the car. One is for the front, the other one's on the side. It's just because I like to organize them like that. But for you, if you wanted to optimize confusion, you can just use one locator. Now, where this locator will go though, hold on. Let me parent the host, left host to the all host locator. Because these will go under the body part, basically. So all host locator will be under the body parts. So that is go with the body. So now everything is belong to the main body. If I move all of them, they will go with it. Can you see? The joyous go with it. Now the host is not, because we need to skin them. So let me take this out, this host out of that layers, remove it, and when it template. So to skin it, this time it's going to be really easy, because we are not do a complex collector rig or organic surface. These are just really uniform surface as a tube. You select the surface, shift select the root of the joint, under skin, bind skin, open up option. You use the whole joint hierarchy. Close at distance, leave it as is. Now, classic linear or dual quaternion, just use classic because we are not do complex organic shape. Now, allow multiple pose? No. I don't know why some people like to use allow multiple bipose. I got confused when I used the multiple bipose. Multiple bipose, what it does is it allow you to bind only the head parts, the torso parts. So the head parts including hair, including head, for example, eyebrow, will be one bipose. The torso will be another bipose. And then you have hand and arm separate bipose. Some people like that, I don't. And now max inference, 3 or 5 is fine because we are not going to touch the skin weight at all. Drop off, you can just leave it as is. Everything else, you can just leave as is. Click bind skin, and then let's test. I'm going to grab this. Here we go. And you don't need to go in and edit the surface at all. I mean, if you want to fix this, go for it, but you don't have to. So, because it's not going to be too obvious, unless you do close up, yes. So now, once again, this surface has been bounded to the joint, and the joint is already driven by the main control. So you do not parent this surface or put them in any group. It's going to be floating like this. It's going to just stay outside like that. Okay, so now it will be, that's it. When I move, everything follow. If I attach this, do the same technique again, I will get all of them follow. And that's it for today. I think that's a lot already. I'm gonna save this, and then I'm gonna make the rest of the video and post it on Wednesday. Once again, guys, Wednesday I'll be inside this class, and you can just pop up, ask question, anything you need to help, let me know on Wednesday. Okay? Any questions? Before you leave, let me check real quick. Let me stop the